These are some of the most popular Air Jordan models in the world. You've probably seen them on the feet of hood kids, NBA stars, celebrities, and even 71-year-old dripped out grandpas. These sneakers were carefully designed. Every single little detail considered, perfected for the greatest basketball player of all time. And then there's this one shoe, the Black Sheep. You guys already know what Jordan I'm talking about. The Air Jordan 2. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Brian, and my brother Nacho and I make videos on sneaker history and all things related to sneaker culture. So if you're into sneakers, then you might want to consider subscribing because we drop fire content like this all the time and you won't want to miss an upload. Alright guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. This is Bruce Kilgore. Bruce is responsible for the design of one of Nike's most successful silhouettes, the Nike Air Force 1. In 1986, Bruce, along with Air Jordan 1 designer Peter Moore, were tasked with designing the Air Jordan 2. This was not going to be easy since the Air Jordan 1 was a massive success. Following up the Air Jordan 1 was going to need some bold design direction and risk taking, and that's exactly what they did. If you look at the entire line of Jordan shoes, the Jordan 2 stands out like a sore thumb, and there's a reason why. Nike's whole idea for the Air Jordan 2 was to make a luxury basketball shoe. A sneaker that could perform on the court and could also be worn with a tuxedo off it. Something fashionable, but still performance-based. An interesting observation about the decision to take a luxury approach to the shoe is the fact that, at the time, Michael Jordan was into rocking gold chains and into dressing flashy. He even wore gold chains while playing on the court. Maybe they took that into consideration when designing the shoe, but I'm not sure, I could be wrong, it's just something I noticed, but what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Prototypes for the Air Jordan 2 included a hybrid version that has the Jordan upper but the Jordan 2 sole. It's very strange to look at, right? It almost gives me anxiety. It looks so weird. They also experimented with another prototype that looked nothing like the final product. A low-cut version of this prototype was used for the Chicago Bulls cheerleaders to wear. Bruce Kilgore and Peter Moore finally decided on a design, and when it came time to manufacture the shoe, they chose only the most premium of materials to produce the highest quality shoe for their superstar. Upon its release in 1986, the Air Jordan 2 featured genuine Italian leather and a layer of fake iguana skin on the upper to give it a more luxurious and high-fashion feel. Oddly enough, the shoe didn't feature any kind of swoosh branding. They went with the Air Jordan wing logo on the tongue and the Nike Text logo on the heel and bottom sole. The sneaker also featured a really cool heel counter for support and a giant airbag in the heel. Staying true to the theme of luxury, Nike made the decision to produce the shoe in Italy. This made the Air Jordan 2 unbelievably expensive, and it retailed at $100 per pair. What's up guys, real quick announcement, we just launched our Facebook group. It's called Sneaker Enthusiasts. We're going to be talking about sneaker news, upcoming drops, just celebrating sneaker culture in general. So if you want to join in on the fun and you have a Facebook and you want more sneaker content in your news feed, check us out. I put a link in the description. Check it out, Sneaker Enthusiasts, Facebook group. Alright, back to the video. The Air Jordan 2 released in two original colorways, the white, red, and gray, and the white, red, and black models. The following year, in 1987, they released low-top versions of the shoe which also featured the same red and white and red black colorways. MJ was first spotted wearing the Air Jordan 2 in a commercial which featured him doing his famous Rockabye Baby Dunk. Entering his third season off a broken foot injury, MJ was ready to prove himself once again as a rising star in the league. Michael Jordan went on to break records that season. He became the second player after Wilt Chamberlain to score 3,000 points a season and averaged 37.1 points per game, which I think by today's standards is still pretty insane. 37.1 points a game, I mean come on. And if that wasn't enough, the same season MJ racked up 100 blocks and 200 steals. Crazy. All of this while wearing the Air Jordan 2 on his feet. Now, the Air Jordan 2 had some notable collabs and has also been retroed several times. In fact, it was one of the first sneakers Nike ever retroed. But hey, if you made it this far into the video, I just wanted to say thank you. I know it may sound disrespectful to call the Air Jordan 2 a failure, but let me elaborate. One could argue that the Air Jordan 2 was quote-unquote a failure when you look at the shoe's impact and where it stands in the Jordan line today. And I'm talking about the OG Jordans, like the 1 through the 14. The 2 is the most underappreciated and unpopular model. Furthermore, after it came out, Bruce Kilgore and Peter Moore were dismissed from designing for the Jordan line, and it makes you wonder why. In fact, Peter Moore left the company shortly after because he was growing frustrated with designing the Jordan 3, and that's where Tinker Hatfield came in. The Jordan 2 put Nike in a rut. Everyone knows that Michael Jordan signed with Nike as a last resort and just wasn't a fan of the shoe. He hated the Air Jordan 2 despite having an amazing season in them. He thought the shoe was too heavy and he wasn't a fan of Nike. But then again, I mean, you can't really follow up the Air Jordan 1, can you? Personally, I'm not a big fan of the shoe. Being a sneaker enthusiast, I can definitely appreciate the design and the shoe's place in history, but I feel like it's underappreciated for a reason. I do like some of the lows though, especially the University Blue lows. The Dante collabs are nice, but man, look at the Air Jordan 2 and Eminem collabs. These go for thousands, but they're hideous. I will say though that the Bin 23 Jordan 2 is pretty nice. I like that brown. But what do you guys think about the Air Jordan 2? I get the feeling I'm gonna get a very mixed response in the comments. But hey, listen, if you want to learn more about the history of Jordans, we did this video on the history of the Air Jordan 5. We've also done the 1 if you want to check that out, but go ahead and click on that and it'll take you over to that video, and I will see you over in those videos. So for now, peace, see you in those videos. Peep the sweater, go Clippers.